Welcome back everyone to another video in our FE Civil Preparation course. And in this video, we are going to talk about different types of foundations. Foundations are the structural element responsible to transfer all of the structure's load to the soil. We use foundations to spread the loads coming from the columns on a larger area, which reduces the stress on the soil. Foundations could be divided into two main categories. First category is shallow foundation, and those are the foundations that are constructed on relatively shallow depths, and they transfer the structure's load on the upper layers of the soil. And we use this type of foundations on relatively light structures and when the top layers of the soil is strong enough to withstand the structure's load. There are different types of shallow foundations depending on the arrangement of the structure. Isolated footing is the most common form of shallow foundations, and in this type, each column is supported by a separate footing. And combined footing is when two columns are so close to each other that the dimensions of both isolated footings are overlapping with each other. In this case, we construct a one combined footing for both columns. Another type of shallow foundation is a strip footing, and this is used under the retaining walls. Finally, one of the most common shallow foundations type is raft foundation, which is normally used when the soil bearing capacity is relatively low or when the isolated footings are overlapping in many locations in the structure. The second category is deep foundations, and deep foundations are used when the loads coming from the structures are relatively high or when the top layers of the soil are too weak. So, we construct piles that go deep down till we reach a strong layer of soil such as rock to support the structure. And piles are divided into two main types. First one is end-bearing piles, and in this type of piles, we rely only on the resistance coming from the end part of the pile. And the second type is friction piles, and in this type, we rely also on the friction between the pile and the soil. In order to properly design a foundation system, it is important to understand the failure mechanism of any foundation. There are two main failure mechanisms for any foundation. First one is bearing capacity failure, and it occurs when the stresses on the soil exceed the allowable bearing capacity. And the second failure mechanism is settlement or consolidation, and this failure occurs when the foundation starts to excessively settle in the soil, which will damage the remaining structure system of the building. There are multiple reasons behind any foundation failure, such as poor soil, poor compaction, slope failure, or many other reasons. In our next video, we will learn in details about the bearing capacity failure. Thank you.